Hello everyone, and welcome to Damien's Reviews. Tonight, it's a malt liquor review. I'm doing Still Reserve 211 High Gravity Lager in a 42-ounce plastic bottle. Doesn't quite make the sound of glass, but oh well. So, Still Reserve 211, introduced in 1998 by the McKenzie River Corporation of San Francisco, California, back in 1998. They're most notorious for making the other high gravity malt liquor, St. Ides malt liquor, made popular by pop culture in the late 80s and early 90s. So it is a high gravity lager, in other words, malt liquor. It's 8.1% ABV, 222 calories. The ingredients are water, barley malt, corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, yeast, and hops. There's probably also malt extract as well as hop extract as well. So it is a very distinct looking label. It's got a lot of information on here. Has the cold when blue indicator. Like honestly, I couldn't just feel it with my hands to know if it's cold enough for my taste or not. Whatever. All right, 8.1% high gravity lager, slow brewed for exceptionally smooth flavor, extra malted barley, and select hops for the extra gravity. So, quick beer lesson. Gravity is the amount of fermentable sugars as well as potential alcohol yield. To determine what your alcohol by volume is, you take your first initial gravity reading before you begin the fermentation, then you check your gravity after fermentation. You take your first gravity reading and your last gravity reading, then you minus the two. That's your final gravity as well as your final alcohol by volume. So there is a little bit of truth, but there is one thing that actually has no bearing on gravity. So it says extra malted barley and select hops for extra gravity. So gravity, like again, is more for your fermentable sugars. So like your malt, barley, malted barley, as well as like um, sugar, maltose, dextrose, malt extract, things like that. That's going to give you your fermentable sugars and really affect the gravity. So hops have no bearing on calorie content, nor do they have any real bearing on gravity itself. Um, they're just there for balancing. So, um, yeah, hops have nothing to do with gravity. It's all about the fermentable sugars and then how much the actual sugar yields. So let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open and get into the review. I'm starting my new job tomorrow and I'm having a drink to celebrate. So I figured they need me there early in the morning and I'm a night owl, so I need a nightcap. So as always, it goes in the big mug. Uh-oh, yeah, I poured that just a tad bit too aggressively at first. Okay, super thick white head. It's clear, like a like a dark golden color with lots of streaming bubbles. So yeah, it looks great in the glass. I'm gonna go ahead and let that head die down, but since we got a pretty thick head, we're gonna get a lot of esters in the aroma. So let's see what we got. Got a little bit on my nose. Okay, so it smells very sweet. It smells like a regular beer, just really sweet. You can taste the bar, or you can smell the barley malt as well as the other fermentable sugars they add in. Almost has like a sugary type sweetness to it. There's lots of breadiness, like white bread crust. Um, there is a great amount of hop action going on. There's some graininess to it. Mm, this relies more on like malt as compared to adjuncts. So this is more like a malt forward malt liquor rather than just like malt and adjuncts like most of your malt liquors and high gravity malt liquors. I mean, yeah, I mean, it smells very appealing and it looks very appealing. So let's see if we can go ahead and get the rest of this bad boy in the mug. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, looks like that's going to be all I'm getting for right now. I mean, it's super, super carbonated. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Cheers. All right, right off the bat, you're getting a lot of malt sweetness up front. Not like a sugary sweetness up front, but it does have a little bit of a sugary sweetness, like more towards the middle, but up front, very, very malt forward. Then in the middle, there's a pretty good amount of graininess, a little corniness, um, but there's also a little bit of a. It's not really like corn graininess. It's like a hmm. Not really sure how you describe that, but it's definitely not corn. Like almost like a hay type deal going on. A little strange, a little peculiar. Then there's some white breadiness, some white bread crust in the middle. And then in the end, it's got a really good amount of hop bitterness. Surprising, you would think something like 8.1% that says high gravity lager, you expect to be like really sweet. But in all honesty, it's really not all that sweet. Because when that hop action comes in the end, it really balances it out, as well as it really dries out the beer. So it finishes not really crisp and refreshing, which, don't expect that at something's like 8.1%. But it does finish clean. It doesn't have a very smooth finish, but does finish somewhat smooth. It does finish a little rough. And the body and mouthfeel are definitely medium to heavy. You could probably argue heavy. And then also, there's a fair amount of alcohol burn. Like when it goes down, you can feel the alcohol in the back of your throat. And then you feel a little bit down here. It does present itself in the taste. Yeah, it presents itself as like a little bit of an undertaste throughout the duration of the sip, but you really taste it at the end. So how would I rate this? Well, I did the head-to-head of the 211 Triple Export, and then did the regular 211 in the silver can. Now, I rated both 100 out of 100, but I haven't done a formal review of this beer until now, so I'm still going to stick with a 100 out of 100. I mean, for the high gravity malt liquor style, it's definitely an excellent representation of the style. It's one of the best ones out there, if not the best representation of style, besides the 211 Triple Export. So there are some complaints I do have against it. I wish, there was a little bit more of a balanced taste to it. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend you try. I know some people just like laugh and it's gonna be like, "Oh, I ain't drinking that shit. That shit's garbage." You know what? It's nothing gourmet. It's nothing exquisite. It's just a strong American adjunct lager, or an imperial American adjunct lager. That's really all this set out to be. It never set out to be a craft beer. It never set out to do this or do that. So, yeah, I'm still sticking with 100 out of 100. It is an excellent representation of the style. Among those few complaints, I really have nothing negative to, in all honesty, say about it. But yeah, this is going to be my nightcap because I'm starting my new job tomorrow, and I need to go to bed somewhat early. So I hope you all enjoyed this review. I will do this out of the can, but in all honesty, I think this out of the bottle is much better. The cans have a little bit of a metallic-y taste and give it a little more of a strangeness and a little bit more of a ambiguous taste to it. But other than that, I mean, from the bottle seems to really be like the best version. And they do run deals on these all the time. I think most places sell it like $2.59 for a single 42, or pick up two of them for $5. So, I mean, that's an excellent deal, all things considered, these days. But I mean, Tennessee loves to squeeze every penny they can out of alcohol for revenue. So, there's my review. I hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, you all have an excellent one, and cheers.